A few days after witnessing those murders in Edo, the suspicious activity seemed to have quieted down. Since that night, Sanan had been on his best behavior, never seeming to stray too far from the compounds. Knowing all of it could have been a ruse, however, we continued to monitor him discreetly. While in the middle of preparing some of the dishes for supper, I snuck a cursory glance towards Sanan.
Yukimura, is there something amiss about my face?
Oh, no! Nothing like that!
Well, may I suggest, unless I give you reason to look, you keep your eyes forward and stick to your duties. Your sneaky little glances make me uncomfortable.
Sorry, we are not on your route for a start, so I understand.
Or is there something more? Something bothering you?
No, not really. I glanced over at Heisuke, hoping he would help me out of this awkward conversation.
Oh, I think she's just anxious. I'm sure she's just worried that you might not like what she's prepared for tonight's dinner, Sanan. You know what I mean? It's just that your palate's so refined and all. So...
But tonight is hardly my first experience with Yukimura's cooking, though.
Well, sure, but I mean...
Heisuke was doing his best to come up with a plausible excuse on the spot, but neither of us were real spies. By virtue of either terrible improvisational skills or the presence of standing up to Sanan's intense scrutiny, Heisuke found it difficult to convince Sanan.
Well, for now, I'd better drop it. Don't let me take away from this marvelous supper. I'll be digging in.
Same here. Before all of the other soldiers had departed for Kofu, the dining room was normally a lively scene, full of hungry warriors antsy after a long day of training. Eating dinner with everyone absent, save for myself, Heisuke, and Sanan, was silent to an unsettling degree. Wait, do the other Furies just not eat at all? What's with this small family dinner that we're having?
Your cooking has surely improved, Yukimura.
Huh?
These sesame-infused vegetables. Quite exquisite, I have to admit.
Yeah? Wow, thank you. Oh, Sanan, you dog.
Indeed, the pleasure is all mine.
Man, sucks for Shin and Sano. They don't know what they're missing with all this good food. I wonder if the guys over in Kofu are eating anywhere near as well as this.
Heisuke. As Hijikata mentioned in his last conversation with both Heisuke and myself, victory was not assured, and the campaign itself was becoming a bleak prospect to all those in charge.
No need to worry. Hijikata has an eye for ensuring that each of his men are given suitable arrangements.
Yeah, you're right. He always has the next step covered. Especially now that Kondo's back. Since he's taking the reins, there's no way we'd lose, right? Chizuru, can I have seconds?
Of course. Please give me a second. I'll get some for you right away. I stood up and walked to the container of rice, and I scooped a large portion into his bowl. Having him enjoy his dinner enough to ask for seconds made all of the effort I'd put in the kitchen worth it. Hooray. Here you go. There are plenty of servings left, so please don't hold back.
Sure thing. Thanks!
Heisuke lifted his chopsticks to fill his mouth with a fresh serving of rice, but then he stopped himself. It was sudden, as if he'd remembered something urgent. What's the matter?
Oh. Man, I was just thinking about how much easier life would be if I could just eat my problems away.
Oh.
Sorry. Didn't mean anything by it.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I'm sorry if my question made things a little weird. The awkward silence in the room was deafening, and just as we craved something to break it...
Many thanks for the splendid meal. Please excuse me. I must leave now.
Oh, so soon? There's more food if you'd like.
Apologies, but my appetite is rather small. Nothing personal. I simply do not eat much.
Sanan gathered his dishes delicately and stood up from his seat. Oh, please, leave it there. I'll be collecting and washing them later anyway, so right there is fine.
Oh no, I am more than capable of handling this by myself. Why don't you take this opportunity to rest? Surely, when there are dozens of other warriors around, this offer is rarely extended to you, as it could become awkward. For both sides.
Thanks? Sanan left the conversation at that, punctuating his point with a quiet exit from the room. As soon as his footsteps were out of earshot, I turned to Heisuke and whispered to him. Sanan didn't seem to act any differently.
Well, he's not the type of person to show his cards in a situation like this.
What situation does Sanan show his cards exactly? I guess when he's assured of victory, then he shows his cards.
I have a funny feeling that he knows we're suspicious of him, too.
Really? I wonder what could have given that away. Right.
Anyway, thanks for dinner. I'll help you clean up.
Oh no, let me. Why don't you get some sleep, Heisuke?
That's alright. I'm gonna check on Sanan anyways. Why don't you just wait here? Okay? Here we go!
Heisuke picked up a stack of plates and he left the dining room. Crash. I'm half expecting just this big clatter. Heisuke, are you okay? Oh, he did it. I sat there patiently, twirling my hair playfully in my fingers before Heisuke returned to me. That's cute. Welcome back. So, what was Sanan up to?
Looked like he was busy reading through paperwork. I'm guessing he's reviewing whatever documents he found back at Koto's house.
I see. You think that'll be enough to occupy him from going out tonight? Whether or not Sanan had a hand in the Furies' murdering spree in Edo was something yet to be determined, but we could take solace that there would not be any murders tonight, assuming he was as busy within the headquarters as we'd expected. He was here last time the murders happened, though.
Still can't say for certain. I think it'd be better for us to be safe than sorry.
You have a point. Both of us let the subject of the conversation sink in, and from there a silence awkwardly hovered between us. The only sound around us was the busy chirp of insects. With more humidity and warmth came an influx of insects seeking refuge throughout our compound's vicinity.
Hey.
Huh? What is it, Heisuke?
Since you arrived in Edo, have you had a chance to wander or check out the town?
No, not really. In fact, I think the only chance I've had to leave the compounds was joining you and Sanan to my home.
What? Seriously? Come on, it's been years since you've been home. Why don't you live a little and explore?
But what is there to do?
Well, I read a woodblock print the other day about how gorgeous the Hanayashiki in Asakusa is. Supposedly, all of the flowers are in bloom. You like pretty flowers, don't you?
Yes, I am quite fond of flowers, actually.
I think there's a theater nearby Asakusa, too, so why don't you ask one of the warriors to escort you there?
Sure, that sounds lovely and all, but why do I have to ask one of the other warriors? Why can't you take me, Heisuke?
Well...
Heisuke's wide, tender eyes suddenly turned forlorn. After a moment, he laughed self-derisively.
Haha, you dummy. You know I can't join you. I can only go out once the sun goes down.
Heisuke. What words of comfort could I offer him? Sorry? You're the only person I want to go with, though. The flowers wouldn't be nearly as pretty without you by my side.
The only person I'd go with is you, Heisuke. The Hanakyashiki, the theater, none of that would be as fun with anyone else. There's no way I'd allow myself to partake in all of that fun, knowing you'd be back at the compounds by yourself.
Aww.
Chizuru. Well, I mean, what the hell can I do about it? I can't change my body. I mean, I want nothing more than to go out with you.
Go on. Heisuke immediately stopped himself mid-sentence, his voice trailing off before staring at the ground.
Actually, never mind.
His tone became cold and he tightened his fist. This conversation must have struck a nerve, and it seemed Heisuke hadn't wanted it to continue. Oh no, I'm worried. Since he's learned about what Sen told us, maybe he's... I wonder if he had plans to be like, you know, maybe I could marry this girl one day. When things calm down, you know, have a normal life of sorts, even though I'm awake at night. But maybe he feels like it wouldn't be fair to her, knowing he could just turn into ash any moment. I hope not. That'd be really sad if he starts to hold himself back because he's like, oh no, I'm gonna die soon. This isn't good. Yet again, the room became silent, apart from the insects chirping outside of the dining room's window.
Not to be a downer, but I wonder to myself just how many of these nights I've got left in me.
Heisuke possessed an innocence that was slowly giving way to the burden of his gloomy predicament. Back then, he was so warm and jovial. All of that was beginning to slip away, which only tugged at my heartstrings with each passing day. I'm sure there are so many. Just look at Sanon. It's been 3 years since he's become a Fury, and he's doing just fine. Even if they say that using your power shortens your lifespan, then maybe it won't shorten it as much as you think, Heisuke.
You know, I sure hope you're right.
At last, he seemed to relax, and his lips curled into a timid grin. I wasn't sure if Heisuke was genuinely accepting my optimistic outlook or just humoring me. I wanted so badly for him to understand, but I acknowledged that all I could offer him were shallow words of encouragement. No matter how hard I tried, the source of his anguish was foreign to me. Actually, with the whole turning to ash thing, in Soji's route, does that mean Chizuru also eventually would turn into ash? Or would that part of the thing not happen to her because she's a pure-blooded demon? I gazed longingly at the stars scattered across the view from the window, and I made a wish. Please, don't let this night end so soon. The sun, the battlefield, or the passage of time itself. I just wish that the things that took Heisuke away from me were no longer an issue. That life would start to give more often than it liked to take. Aw, that's so sad. My poor little beans. I just want them to be happy. That was the end of chapter 1. Oh boy. On that sad note. Alright, chapter 2. It's still nighttime. Goodness. Okay. Before we do that... we're budding, apparently. Over 3 months passed since we'd welcomed spring, and the only communication we'd received was a single letter. The Shinsengumi, it read, had suffered an embarrassing defeat against the Imperial Army at Kofu Castle. Was embarrassing really necessary? Later on, this information had proved to be false, as the battle's verdict was yet to be determined. However, Hijikata made it clear to us that they were facing insurmountable odds, and that the conditions for victory were becoming increasingly unfavorable. We held our breaths, nervously waiting for any word of the safe return for our friends and comrades. Until finally, we had our answer. Hey, you're back.
Phew, jeez. We're finally back. Seriously? Man, I thought I was a goner for sure this time.
Shin! Sano! You made it safely!
Yep, in the flesh, baby!
Osano. Wait, is it just the two of you who've returned? Where are the rest of the men?
Thing is, during the retreat we all got separated. I'm sure they'll be here any minute now. If they're alive, that is.
Wait, so are you saying that the battle was...
It's all Kondo's goddamn fault. If he wasn't there, then we could have stood a chance. I have to agree with Shinpachi about this one. For once, I'm pretty torn up about what the right thing to do would have been.
Both Nagakora and Harada returned with angered spirits, visibly disturbed by what transpired. I could only imagine what happened in Kofu.
Heisuke, has Hichikata returned yet?
Not yet. Did anything go down in Kofu? I think we should let Sanon know just in case. We've gotten little to no updates about anything, so I'm sure Sanon's curious how it all turned out.
Sure. Let's see where he's at.
Nagakora and Harada both slumped, sighing in unison as we made our way to Sanon's study. Uh-huh.
Noted. All is clear to me now.
The events of Kofu were recounted in painstakingly elaborate detail by both Harada and Nagakura. Their side of the story, to our surprise, described a scene far worse than Hichikata originally anticipated. Kondo insisted on spending a prolonged period of time in Hino, his hometown, delaying their convoy's arrival to Kofu Castle. As a result, the Imperial Army beat our troops there and swept through the site, fortifying the castle before our men were anywhere near the battlefield. If this hadn't presented enough of a disadvantage, the Satsuma Choshu utilized the same weaponry that handily crushed our forces at Toba-Fushimi. Realizing that they may have been marching straight to their deaths, Nagakora and Harada pleaded with Kondo to order a mass retreat. However, Kondo flat out refused, confusing their concern with cynicism. This act of negligence came at the most heinous of costs, leading to the deaths of hundreds of our men serving with his ill-advised command.
I don't think I could deal with his shit for a second longer. Kondo doesn't have it what it takes to lead. True that. If he keeps barking at his men to act like idiots, then soon enough he won't have any men left. Seriously! Besides, who needs the Shinsengumi to fight the Satsuma Choshu anyway?
Both Heisuke and I looked at one another in surprise as soon as Nagakora said that. Surely Nagakora and Harada wouldn't leave, right?
Now, normally, I would attempt to sway you from such a rash position. However, it would be unbecoming of me to convince you to stay when it seems your heart has already decided. Do as you wish. May I advise you, however, not to leave without notifying those for whom you may still have some concern.
After offering his counsel, Sanon nodded curtly and left for his room.
Hey, Shin. Are you seriously thinking of leaving?
Well, I have some words for Kondo for sure when he gets back.
And you, Sano?
Well, I do owe a lot to Kondo and Hijikata. I'd love to stick around and repay my debt, but I don't know if I could stomach letting my men fall into the same trap if things don't change around here. I don't know how much I can still take.
Despite the legitimacy of their concerns, their departure was dependent on Kondo's willingness to hear them out. It seemed their hearts were set, and no matter of goodwill or nostalgia could convince them otherwise.
Heisuke, come with us, won't you?
What?
You can let it all out. Don't keep these things inside. I mean, they practically force you to drink the water of life against your will. I bet you're fed up with them too, aren't you? If you stick around here, who knows what sick shit they'll force you to do. The thought alone makes me gag.
Their invitation to leave clearly struck a nerve with Heisuke, who found himself in a position he had likely never anticipated. I'm touched that they did offer to have Heisuke join them, though, at least. His gaze trembled slightly, as if he struggled to find a solid answer, and then he pursed his lips.
Thanks. Seriously. I appreciate that.
Heisuke.
But you guys seem to have the wrong idea. No one forced me to drink the water of life. When I was on the verge of death, Sanon asked me whether or not I had the will to live. So it was me. I was the one who decided to drink it. Not Kondo, not Hijikata, me. Besides, there's no way I could leave the Shinsengumi after all they've done for me, especially now that I'm a Fury.
What? You know, if you really want to leave, then I can talk to Hijikata for you.
It's fine. Not everyone gets a second shot at life like I did. So, I really want to make it count this time. For now, I'm staying until I decide how to make that happen.
I'm kind of surprised, because Heisuke had left before over... you know... differences of opinion within the Shinsengumi-ish. I kind of half expected him to go with them, but... he is a Fury now. Maybe he feels like... and he does feel more like he owes his life to the Shinsengumi. It's interesting. Neither Nagakura nor Harada seemed pleased with his response, both of them scanning him intently.
Jeez, you're a real dumbass, you know that? A loyal dumbass, but a dumbass nonetheless.
Shut up! You of all people should be the last one to call anyone else a dumbass.
Whatever, man. We extended the invite out of the bottom of our hearts and you spit in our faces. Man, screw this ignorant prick. Good luck, kid. You're gonna need it, since sooner or later everyone's gonna end up dead here.
What? How dare you? The nerve you've got.
Anyways, Chizuru. Got anything to eat around here? All that walking we did's got me famished.
Oh, just 1 second. There are plenty of leftovers from supper, so allow me to prepare them for you.
Woo! You're the best, you know that? And what would dinner be without sake, right?
No sake. I'm putting my foot down.
Aw, really? Don't be such a stiff. We made it back in one piece. We deserve a drink.
Yeah, come on. A little couldn't hurt, right? I mean, look at it this way. Who knows when the next time we'll be able to drink together will be?
As much as I hated to admit it, Heisuke raised a good point that made it difficult to refuse. Fine, but just a little, okay? I think everyone's a little bit on edge, so the last thing I want to do is to cause any trouble.
Thanks, Chizuru!
Heisuke, Harada, and Nagakura drank well into the wee hours of the morning, laughing boisterously over memories between all of them. I love that. On the surface, it was an endearing sight, but I couldn't help but notice the veneer of happiness spread thinly over their conversation, as each of them knew it may very well be their last together. In fact, Heisuke seemed keenly aware of this, offering a sly, pensive glance from time to time. Aw, so sad. Trio's broken up again. By the next afternoon, some of the other men arrived. Kondo, Hijikata, Saito, and Soma all returned with their respective troops, and the mood was hushed all around the compounds. Nagakura was quick to approach Kondo, hoping to schedule the meeting in which all of his grievances could be properly aired. We waited patiently to see how it turned out when... when?
Alright, y'all. Living with everyone has been a pleasure. Please send my farewell to the others.
So, you weren't able to come to a resolution with Kondo, huh?
Nope. Had no idea how hard-headed that guy was, but, well, what can you do? Well, that goes both ways, doesn't it? It breaks my heart to see the two of you leave.
Same here. Hell, we wouldn't be anything without the two of you around to guide us. I mean, who could forget when you ate the food off our plate, beat the living hell out of us during training, and forced us into doing chores all day?
Dang. Good job, Nomura. You got a solid roast in before they left.
Oh ho! Glad to see you're finally getting the hang of how to banter, Nomura. How about I punch you right in the back of the head so you'll forget all that crap you just mentioned?
No thanks, I'm a pacifist.
You may be, but Shin's not.
Yukimura, have you happened to see where Toto may have run off to?
Shimada glanced inquisitively around the room. I invited him to join us for the send-off, but all Heisuke said was, "Don't worry about me," and then he left it at that. If you would like, I'd be happy to summon him.
No need. This won't be the last you'll be seeing of us.
But...
Hey, it's all good. Last night we pretty much let out everything we would have wanted to say anyway.
Are you sure about that?
Hell yeah. It's a small world. Our paths are bound to cross again someday.
I'd hoped that Harada was right, but the sorrow in our parting was anything but sweet. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Okay. Well, safe travels, you two.
Right on. Later. Take good care of Kondo and the others for us.
Nagakura and Harada grinned warmly, seemingly at peace with their decision to move on with their lives. Without another word, they turned their backs to us and walked out of the front gate. As I watched them disappear into the horizon, a feeling of melancholy sat in the pit of my stomach. Although the answer to how much longer Heisuke had to live on account of his affliction was unknown, I still clung to the hope that, one day, the three of them would reunite, no longer burdened by the troubles that seemed determined to tear them apart. I hope so. Above us, the sun was setting, covering the sky with a gorgeous array of orange hues.
Huh?
Heisuke awoke from his slumber, stumbling clumsily into the recently vacated room. You just missed Nagakura and Harada's goodbye.
Aw, man. Classic. Didn't take them too long, did it?
You should have been here to see them off.
Nah, no need. It's not like we're saying so long for good. If it's meant to be, then I'm sure it won't be the last we'll see of those guys.
Strangely enough, Heisuke echoed the same sentiment shared by Harada only moments earlier. Perhaps the truth, that none of them had any way of truly knowing whether or not they would live to see one another again, was a pain not worth admitting. Instead, they chose to look forward optimistically. A valiant effort, of course, but one that I feared would never come to fruition. Come on, be optimistic. Hey, Heisuke? Do you really think you made the right choice not going with Nagakura and Harada? Although the secret that Heisuke was alive, let alone had become a Fury, was unbeknownst to the public, I was sure that, if Heisuke had wanted to, Hijikata would entertain the option of him leaving the Shinsengumi favorably.
Sure. I've got a lot of unfinished business around here.
Like what? Heisuke went silent, pondering to himself as he scratched the bridge of his nose.
You know, I'm kind of worried about someone. If I'd gone ahead and left the Shinsengumi, along with Shin and Sano, I'd be abandoning that person. I don't know if I'd be able to live with myself over something like that. I'd probably regret it until the day I died.
Passion glowed in his wide, tender eyes. Staring deeply into them made my chest tighten for some reason, like my heart had been beating twice as fast. Surely the person Heisuke had been worried about was Sanan. Your heart beats fast thinking about Heisuke being worried about Sanan? Okay, I mean, that's your business, Chizuru. Come on, we all know it's you. I thought about whom it could have been, and although I may have been overthinking things, something hit me. I recalled an intimate conversation we'd shared as we left Osaka Bay following the events at Toba Fushimi. Between joining the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb, leaving the Shinsengumi, and drinking the water of life. It was a period of change, reflection, and unforeseen consequences for Heisuke, but he confided in me that my presence gave him the confidence to see through it all. So logically, I thought it must have been... the person you're talking about... Is it me? Blushing, Heisuke!
Huh? Oh, well, I mean,
Oh, oops. Sorry, that was wrong of me to assume. Right. How could it be me? Of course. My deepest apologies. I think I may have gotten ahead of myself. How embarrassing.
No, you're not wrong.
Huh?
Oh!
Just kiss, you two goobers. Heisuke's cheeks turned deep red, and he cupped his mouth with his hands almost immediately. He stood frozen to the spot, and for a moment an awkward, ear-shattering silence filled the room. Well then... So I was right, wasn't I? The person you're worried about is me? Heisuke scratched timidly at his rosy cheeks, looking extremely uncomfortable as I continued to press the subject, until...
Yeah. Yeah. Well, pretty much, yeah.
But why in the world are you worried about me? I'm not going through anything near the level of what you're dealing with, Heisuke.
Don't worry about me. I'm a man, and I can still fight. Besides, I'm the one who wanted to join the Shinsengumi. That's my decision. But sadly, the same couldn't be said for you.
Heisuke. Heisuke had always acted so selflessly. His thoughtful gestures, though flattering, made me feel a tad guilty as he never put himself first. For now, expressing my gratitude would have to do. Thank you, Heisuke. Your concern means the world to me. Heisuke's gentle disposition was unlike anyone I'd ever met before, a fact I cherished quite dearly.
Say, any idea what Sanon's been up to?
You know, I haven't seen him since last night.
Really? Oh geez, don't tell me he snuck out without telling anyone! I'm gonna go have a look-see.
Are you going to be okay by yourself?
Pfft, don't patronize me. If you don't mind, I'll be on my way.
Heisuke had one foot out of the door when... Oh no!
Ah! Ah!
He slammed to his knees, desperately moaning in pain. Oh no. It's that time. His hair began slowly turning white, and his eyes were burning savagely with a fiery crimson. Heisuke? What was this? Bloodlust?
I knew it. Guess I made the right choice. Not leaving with those two.
Aww. He didn't want to go into bloodlust mode with the two of his best friends.
Heisuke! Such a sweet boy.
I knew that offering him my fresh blood would be enough to soothe his excruciating pain. Without a second to hesitate, I unsheathed my kodachi as Heisuke clawed at his chest uncontrollably. I grimaced as I slid the cold steel across my wrist. Heisuke, drink my blood.
But...
This doesn't hurt me. Just please, for my sake. After giving it a moment of thought, Heisuke wrapped his soft, moist lips around my bleeding wound. Oh, that's... It's weird seeing him with the short hair in this. It's so different from last time. Huh.
The hell's wrong with me?
He muttered to himself sheepishly, sucking the blood from my cut in a gingerly manner.
I feel like a monster. Either I keep you safe from harm and lose my mind, or I let you cut yourself and drink blood like some creep.
Don't think about that right now. Just focus on getting better. Heisuke nodded curtly, facing his head downwards as he sucked with more vigor. After a few minutes, Heisuke's breathing began to steady itself and the pressure of his mouth lessened. Look at that. Your complexion looks better already.
Guess so.
Heisuke averted his gaze bashfully, perhaps stuck in a thought loop about his internal dilemma.
Are you alright? I drank a lot of your blood. Aren't you feeling lightheaded or anything?
No, this is nothing. All that matters to me is that I'm able to be there for you when you need me. Heisuke fell silent, nervously biting into his lower lip while thinking of something to say.
I'm gonna check up on Sanan.
He shot up from the floor, then disappeared from the room as if the place had caught on fire.